Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Bills beat Steelers with Josh Allen show and face Chiefs in NFL playoffs. In the last duel of the wild card phase of the AFC playoffs in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills counted on the strength of their fans at the freezing Highmark Stadium and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17 this Monday. The confrontation was only held this Monday due to the blizzards that hit the northeast of the United States. For safety reasons, government authorities chose to request the postponement of the game, which would take place on Sunday. But not even the blizzard was able to cool the Bills on the field. Josh Allen had another great playoff game in his career, catching 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, and still finding the end zone on a 52-yard run. With this result, the Bills will go to the divisional stage of the playoffs, or conference semifinals, and will face the Kansas City Chiefs again at Highmark Stadium. This will be the third meeting between the two franchises in the playoffs in the last 4 years. So far, 2 wins for the Chiefs in 2 games between them. This Monday, 15, the Philadelphia Eagles take the field against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the last wild card round of the NFL playoffs, broadcast on ESPN via Star Plus, starting at 10 p.m., Brasilia time. And a very controversial move must be constantly seen in the game. The tush push, but push in free translation, is a maneuver by the Eagles that has been dividing opinions for years and could even lead to a change in NFL rules. An evolution of the quarterback sneak, the play consists of the same concept of opening the opponent's defensive line for the quarterback to sneak in situations of 1 yard or less for the next down, but the Eagles added a difference, pushing the quarterback, with 2 or more players, so that it can advance with more strength. According to The Athletic, the Eagles had a 93.5% conversion success rate with the tush push in 2022 when they first started running it. Legal since 2005, when the NFL removed the ban on pushing offensive players forward from its regulations, the play divides opinions. Some argue that it is a rugby play and not an American football play, while others say they are against the play because of the risk of injury due to the clash of forces between attacking and defensive players. And, according to American sources, the NFL is even considering banning the play from next season, with a change in the rules. The only thing that is known so far is that the Eagles will continue to take advantage, and it should be seen this Monday, 15, once again. Mason Rudolph addresses future with Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers lost on Wild Card Weekend, 31-17 to the Buffalo Bills on the road, signaling the start of another early offseason, which brings a host of questions about how next year's squad will be built. One of those questions is what quarterback Mason Rudolph, who started the last 4 games of the season for the Steelers and led them on a late surge into the playoffs, will do as he enters free agency. "I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've been my only home for 6 years," Rudolph said. "We'll see what happens. It's not really my decision. A lot of it's out of my control, so we'll see what happens." Rudolph completed 53 of 71 passes, 74%, for 716 yards and 3 touchdowns over the final 3 games of the regular season, all wins for the Steelers. He finished this season on a sour note, completing 16 of 28 attempts for 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception in a frustrating loss to the Bills. He was proud of what the offense was able to do as a unit over their final 4 games of this season. They averaged 24.5 points and 369 yards of offense per game with Rudolph as the starting quarterback, both above the Steelers' average marks for the season as a whole, but the cohesiveness is what stood out to him. "I think right now, obviously, the plan was to come here and get a win and we fell short to a great team," Rudolph said. "But I think I was proud of what we as an offense put on tape the past few weeks with just the way we celebrated, the way guys cheered for each other. The run game was working, the receivers were rolling. We had chemistry, we had belief, and we had love for one another." The Steelers have Kenny Pickett, their 2022 first-round pick who started all 12 games he appeared in this season, and Mitch Trubisky under contract for the next 2 seasons. But the Steelers could opt to cut Trubisky before the start of next season and avoid a $7,556,666 cap hit in 2024. Pittsburgh's front office has some important decisions to make during the offseason in forming their next quarterback room, and Rudolph's moves in free agency will play a major role in how the team approaches roster building. And with so many questions swirling, Rudolph didn't have any insight into what he hopes to do. "I have no idea what's going to happen. None of us in there know what's going to happen tomorrow, much less next year," Rudolph said. I'm still thinking about the game and the loss, and it hurts, and it stings. That's what's on the forefront of the mind right now." Recently fired head coach pegged as possible Steelers OC candidate. As the saying goes, one man's trash is another one's treasure. According to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Brian Batko, that could be the case with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Arthur Smith. After 3 consecutive 7-10 seasons, the Atlanta Falcons fired Smith as their head coach on January 8. 3 days later, while answering a mailbag question, Batko proposed the idea of the Steelers considering Smith for their opening at offensive coordinator. Smith's stellar work with a play-action-heavy offense in Tennessee and reviving Ryan Tannehill's career is why he got the keys in Atlanta to begin with. Hitching his wagon to Desmond Ridder at quarterback didn't go so well for him, though, Batko wrote. Some folks aren't head coach material, but are still excellent at designing an offense and calling plays. Perhaps Smith fits that description, and there's no doubt his reputation would align with the Steelers' personnel and philosophy on offense. The Tennessee Titans finished in the top 12 in yards and points scored during back-to-back campaigns in Smith's 2 seasons as offensive coordinator during 2019 and 2020. In his second season, the Titans featured one of the best offenses in the league. They ended 2020 second in yards and 4th in points. Smith only had 2 years as an NFL offensive coordinator before becoming the Falcons' head coach. But the 41-year-old has nearly 2 decades of coaching experience. After 1 season as a graduate assistant at North Carolina, Smith began his NFL coaching career as defensive quality assistant for the then Washington Redskins in 2007. After 2 years in that role and a season as a defensive intern at Ole Miss, Smith joined the Titans staff as defensive quality control in 2011. He slowly worked his way up the Tennessee coaching ladder. Smith remained on the Titans coaching staff for 10 years, despite the fact the organization changed head coaches 3 times. Smith became the Titans tight ends coach in 2016 under Mike Mularkey. He remained in that role in 2018 when the Titans hired Mike Vrabel to replace Mularkey. Then in 2019, Smith received the opportunity to call the team's offensive plays as offensive coordinator. Smith's success rejuvenating quarterback Ryan Tannehill's career and establishing Derrick Henry as the best running back in the league led to his next opportunity as head coach of the Falcons. But in Atlanta, Smith was unable to create that same success with either Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder behind center. The Falcons never finished in the top half of points scored or offensive yards in 3 years with Smith as head coach. And you fan, what do you think of the Arthur Smith situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.